Alright, everyone, back with another video. Today we're going to discuss what Nintendo Switch 2 games are kinda peak, not gonna lie. I can see on screen there's a lot of Switch 2 games, Switch 2 editions, and general third-party releases. We're going to discuss today. We're going to be ranking these based off of how peak they are and how dog water they are. So let's just jump into it. The first being Mario Kart World. Not gonna lie, despite everything, despite it all, I still adore this game. I still believe that Mario Kart World has a lot of legs in it. It's just Nintendo is really stingy when it comes to their update cycle. But base game, I adored it. Love exploring the open world, completing those challenges, collecting materials, collecting those coins, doing those missions. It was a really fun time. Especially the versus mode. I think the versus mode in this game is probably the best it's been in the series. Grand Prix, I liked the Grand Prix. Didn't really like the format. I didn't really love the format they did with Grand Prix, but versus is awesome. There's the added battle mode. It's alright. The online's pretty cool. Rainbow Road is still, like, in my opinion, the best Rainbow Road they've ever done. Knockout Tour, absolutely beloved. I love Knockout Tour so much. This is gonna be one of those games that, like, we have to look back on like 2 years from now to really see where it's at, because as where it stands right now, it kind of feels like the Potential Man game, where, okay, maybe that's a bit harsh actually. Maybe not the Potential Man game, but like the ceiling is so high. And where it's at right now, it's great, but it's not a 10 out of 10. You get what I'm saying, right? So I'll put it in clean. It can be in peak. I still really love this game, but still gotta wait, you know, we're gonna add more costumes, especially for DK and Pauline, the pseudo leaked characters in the credits. That's still not really expanded upon. Like, there's just, I know they're gonna add more stuff, which is why it's like not in peak. If that makes any sense. Welcome to Did Not Play. I'm not gonna even bother playing it. GameCube NSO. I am loving Mario Sunshine right now. I know I do own 3D All-Stars, so like I could technically play. Also, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is awesome. Luigi's Mansion. Got Soul Calibur. I still gotta play Wind Waker, so that's a down the line. But the GameCube emulator, at least for me, I'm not like a fighting game person, nor that input sensitive enough to really discern if the emulator itself is great. But for the games that are available, I feel like this is kind of clean. And also they added Pokemon Steel Gale Darkness. I still gotta play that, but you know, it is what it is. I do believe that the NSO expansion pass is starting to justify itself, especially with the GameCube stuff. As long as they keep adding GameCube games more consistently, then it's gonna be great. Honestly, probably the biggest pain points with GameCube NSO this year have been the game releases, where Steel Gale Darkness came out in February, and then the last game drop was Sunshine, like 2 weeks ago in August. That's the biggest complaint of GameCube NSO, is just the frequency of game drops. Hopefully, it's more frequent from now on. There is some rumors of challenges coming to GameCube NSO, so maybe that's what was the holdup, so we shall see. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I think these are kind of like, you gotta put them in peak. Dude, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2 edition is just, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 4K 60, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, that's what you love to see. That's what you love to see. It's buttery smooth, love the Zelda notes. It's just a pleasure to play this game and just be immersed. There ain't really much you can really say about Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom that haven't already been said. Love the shrines. Breath of the Wild more so than Tears of the Kingdom. Just all in all great experiences. You just gotta play them. DK Bonanza, I have not played yet. I really need to play DK Bonanza. Hopefully later this year. Probably hard, I'll pick it up or whenever I can find it on discount. But heard great things about it though. Haven't played it yet. Sorry, really much to comment on. Dragon Drive? This game is kind of I really wish we had an ARMS too, not gonna lie. I feel like that series really could have benefited from a sequel. Dragon Drive, in terms of like its actual mechanics, and is one of those rare few games that actually use the dual mouse support, where you can use the mouse mode on both Joy-Cons to maneuver with your wheelchair. And the actual like thematics are kind of cool. Like, okay, basketball with wheelchairs. Okay, that's kind of a neat premise. but it was very tech demo-y, if that makes any sense. Or it's just, you know, the drivers, you're playing basketball, that's it. There ain't really much going on. Very tech demo type of game, but it exists. Shout out to Drag and Drive. Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV. I'm also gonna put in an to be honest. Jamboree TV, I played a couple of the modes. It's kind of fun, it's alright. Nothing too crazy. They did issue an update to make the base game not 4K, but higher resolution, which is kind of cool. This is one of the very much weaker Switch 2 editions. The new mini games are fun for what they are, and yeah, that's all I can really say. Kirby and Forgotten Land Star-Crossed World. I gotta put it, honestly, do I put in peak? I want to put in top of clean, actually. I'll put it top of clean. Really like Star-Crossed World. It is kind of short. It's like a third of the base game. The new level designs were fire. Absolutely adored the Starries. The new final boss is fire. Probably the biggest compliment I can give it is the music. Absolutely spectacular. Also, you gotta love 4K 60 Forgotten Land as well. It's just breathtaking. Probably the biggest issue I have with the DLC though, again, I will love a bit more content in terms of levels. Having new challenges would have been fun, because in Forgotten Land, there are these side levels, aka challenges, where you gotta beat the time using a copy ability, or actually, it wasn't a copy ability. It was those for mouthful mode abilities. More of mouthful mode ability challenger runs would have been greatly appreciated, but all in all, this is one of those expansions where I'm like, you kind of have to play it, because Current Forgotten Land base game in general is just a amazing experience, but Star-Crossed World kind of elevates it to like another level, but without really, you know, taking away from the base game. It's very complimentary, which is nice. Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 Edition. I'm gonna put this, I don't see Mega Dimension. Okay. I kind of want to rate Mega Dimension separately. I'm gonna put Legends ZA on clean. I'm gonna put Pokemon Legends ZA on clean. As a Switch 2 edition, it is very bare bones. Super bare bones. It's very much just 4K. Actually, I don't even think it's 4K. It's higher resolution plus 60 frames per second, which is great. 60 FPS Pokemon is awesome. We got that with Scarlet and Violet. It's free patch for Switch 2, and now we got it for Pokemon Legends ZA. I love 60 FPS. Dude, 60 FPS does so much for Pokemon, especially for this game where it's real-time combat. It's awesome. Also, resolution is greatly appreciated, but that's pretty much it when it comes to the Switch 2 edition. The actual game itself, though, oh, spectacular. Spectacular. Love the combat. I really like the story. I know the story was very polarizing for some, considering this was very episodic, kind of akin to Legends Arceus, but kind of more amped up. So that was pretty polarizing, but I enjoyed it. Love the characters. Love AZ. Kabaru's the GOAT, right? Especially the ending. The ending was, oh god, probably one of the greatest Pokemon endings out there. Let me add, I'm gonna cut away real quick and let me add Mega Dimension. Mega Dimension, however, you gotta go. Actually, that's kind of harsh. Actually, it's like, okay, you know what? How about, no, let me not, I'm not gonna move it up. Mega Dimension? Oh, where do I start? First of all, let me say the pluses. I really adore the boss fights in Mega Dimension. I really like the over 100 level 100 battles feature they had, where Pokemon will go over level 100 and your level will actually dynamically adjust depending on the donuts you have. It's really challenging, which I really like. That's where the pros end, because Mega Dimension, one is $30. Two, it kind of amplifies the issues I had with base game of ZA, where ZA, you do have to do a lot of grinding, but I wouldn't say it's obnoxious, because everything you did in ZA will culminate into player progression. Mega Dimension, however, really ups the ante with the grinding to a point where it's very much padding instead of encouraging you to explore other areas or encouraging you to do other mechanics or try other systems. It's very much padding for the sake of padding, which is absurd because it's a DLC, not a full game. So if it weren't for the Annihilate tech, where you can destroy bosses pretty quick, I feel like I wouldn't have even beaten the DLC. Or at least gotten to Groudon, Rayquaza, and Kyogre. It's that rough. It has no reason to really be like that at all. It's just padding for the sake of padding. And not gonna lie, I think Mega Dimension kinda soured ZA a bit for me, and I feel like for a lot of other people, because like discussions on ZA just died like a month after Mega Dimension came out, to be honest. Like I feel it. Where Scarlet and Violet, at least there was like discussions and people coming in and out of the game for years ahead, you know, years after the game came out. I feel like talk about ZA just evaporated. Not gonna lie. So also it doesn't really help that like Mega Dimension kind of overtakes the UI a bit, so that in a way like you kind of never revisit the wild areas, which was a really cool part of the base game. So like, why bother going to the wild areas if you could just go into the portals where there's a much higher variety of Pokemon? But then I gotta do the grinding for the donuts. It's I don't know, it kind of like dampened the mood a bit. Mega Dimension, you gotta go. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Age of Imprisonment. Have not played it. Heard good things about it. Haven't played it yet. Kirby Air Riders. I'm gonna put this in kinda clean. Not gonna lie. I love Air Riders. Adore the story mode. City Trial is as chaotic as it should be. I feel like Kirby Air Riders' biggest issue is kind of the online component, where it's kind of overly ambitious for the game it is. It's kind of like Sakurai's typical playbook, where like each different mode will have its own online component and it will go extra beyond belief, but the actual game itself is not really gonna have a crazy install base, right? So it's hard to really take advantage of the online if everyone's like fractured. But that's besides the point. Customization is awesome. The marketplace is pretty funny. Lobbies are cool. City Trials are awesome. I really wish the original City Trial map was available to play. That's kind of what's keeping it away from me from being at like peak. But it's a perfect follow-up / successor to original Air Ride, which is all right in my book. Love Air Ride. Love Air Ride so much. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond did not play. I have no real intentions on playing it unless it's on like 20 bucks. Animal Crossing Switch 2 Edition. It's aight. It's probably the most certified aight pick of all time. To be honest, like it's $5. You get enhanced resolution, you get the microphone feature, mouse controls, and that's pretty much it. There was a free update where it added a, I guess, demo of sorts for the DLC campaign for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is kind of cool. A little appetizer where you can customize different rooms and hotel layouts for your villagers, which is kind of cool. I mean, yeah, it's more Animal Crossing. There's not really much you can really expect from there. Montanus Fever did not play. I have no intentions on playing it. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know. Pokopia. Honestly, this is probably gonna be the first game I'm gonna put in peak for Switch 2 games. Absolutely love Pokopia. The campaign was very, I guess, cute yet somber. It really surprised me how, like, I guess kind of brutal the actual like vibes of the game are, especially when you're kind of progressing through the game a bit more and you're learning about what happened to Kanto. And the fact that this is a sequel in a sense to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is kind of funny to me. But I don't know, like the vibes of the game, really cute. I love that you can create your own habitats to encounter Pokemon. That system to encounter Pokemon is really cool. Rebuilding Kanto from the ground up is awesome, especially since it's very Dragon Quest builders like Minecraft, like where you have sheer total creativity on how you progress through the game, how you build up different facilities, rebuild Kanto to your own image. It is really cute. It's probably a game I'm gonna keep going back to years to come. I feel like Pokopia, especially if you love Pokemon, or if you really like cozy games like Animal Crossing, Dragon Quest Builders, Minecraft, I feel like this is probably one of those must plays, to be perfectly honest. Pokopia is at peak tier. Also, mouse controls are awesome. Please use mouse controls. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. Especially if you have grips for the Joy-Cons. It'll make life a whole lot easier. Tomorrow Wonder, Bellabelle Park. I'm gonna put it kind of clean, along with Pokemon Legends EA, to be honest. Base game Mario Wonder, pretty awesome. It's at 4K now. That's cool. But Belleville Park adds a whole lot of new levels to the base game, where you fight the Koopalings, and they all have like these wonder forms, similar to how Bowser Jr. got different forms as well. This DLC pack really fixes a lot of the issues I had with Super Mario Wonder, where the boss fights are a whole lot more creative and I guess impactful now, which is awesome. My favorite one, probably either Morton with the whole marionette thing he had going on, or what's his face? Roy was like a ghost, right? Yeah, Roy was like a ghost. That was kind of cool. Lemmy with the whole like clown thing he had going on. That was pretty fire. A lot of the boss fights are pretty sick. I kind of wish there were more solo levels, right? Because I really couldn't care less for the multiplayer component. That's not really why I play the Mario games, or the 2D Mario games. I know there's a good large community around that, but that just ain't for me. But if you do like the multiplayer content is substantial, which is pretty cool. I really like the challenges. The challenge system they got, where you can get badges, or not badges, get like patches, is pretty cool. Honestly, I'll put Belleville Park kind of clean, not gonna lie. I think this is a pretty good pick if you already have Mario Wonder. If you don't have Mario Wonder and you want to pick this game up as a package, probably wait for a sale, but what you're getting is pretty damn good, not gonna lie. Yoshima Series book, I did not play, but I am considering on playing. I'm gonna order these based on how I'm probably gonna pick them up. Ugh. Put that at end, bro. But yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up Yoshima Series book down the line. They did release a demo recently where it looks pretty cute. I think the actual game design and the actual movement is gonna be kind of cool. Star Fox. Ooh. I am so tempted to put this in Peak. Is that even funny? You know what? Nah, I'm gonna put it in Peak. I adore Star Fox. I gotta play a bit more, but Star Fox remade for Switch 2, absolutely fire. I heavily recommend anyone to just pick it up, play a bit, do a couple rounds of the campaign, because the campaign, just like Star Fox 64, short as all hell, but like the actual point of the game is that you need to replay it multiple times in order to play through all the different levels, experience different routes. I love the new cutscenes they added to really add more depth to the Star Fox crew, which is awesome. By the way, rest in peace Fox McCloud dad, you know, rest in peace James McCloud, you know. But yeah, no, the cutscenes are immaculate. I want to say this is probably the best looking Nintendo game, period, in terms of a cinematic level. What they did here is absolutely breathtaking. I highly recommend anyone pick it up. Again, it is a very short game, but is super replayable. I still need to play the online. I heard the online's immaculate, so there's that. Fitness Boxers 3 Switch 2 edition. Did not play. I'm hoping they add a Switch 2 version for the Miku boxing one. Splatoon Raiders. Splatoon Raiders, bro. Probably my favorite Switch 2 release so far for the system. They took everything right about the Splatoon series in terms of movement, combat, salmon run, side order with the roguelike elements, and just mix it all together and crank the heat to 1000. This is personally my favorite Splatoon game in the series. So what Splatoon Raiders is that it's a loot and shooter dungeon crawler where you are exploring the Spiralight Islands and you're trying to take down the Salmonids in order to loot their treasure. Along the way, you'll find new weapons, level them up. You'll find gadgets. You'll find materials to create gadgets, which is this game's replacement of side weapons. And dog, the customization in terms of loadouts. I don't think I've ever seen a game to this degree of customization where, okay, you got your main weapon. You customize your main weapon. It has different abilities per weapon. You can have up to 3 abilities in a weapon. Then you get the gadgets. The gadgets have sub-modules where you can mix and match different abilities and patches. Then you got your tank gauge, which has its own ability. And then you can equip up to 3 sub-gadgets. And it's just like, its abilities and customization out the wazoo, which is just, damn, that's insane. And then this game does that Nintendo shtick, what they have been doing recently, where as soon as you reach the credits, it's like, oh wait, but there's more. I will say though, the only flaw I see in this game is the grinding when it comes to post-game is a little rough, especially if you want to get the exact weapon you want, like the highest rarity weapons, primo / weapon type. That's gonna take a little while, but I can see myself playing this game for hundreds of hours, right? So Splatoon Raiders, I feel like if you're into looter shooters, and especially if you're into Splatoon, this is a must play, absolute must play. I do hope that this game does get, maybe not DLC, but an update or two to really flesh out the end game, because I can see this game living alongside Splatoon 4 whenever that drops, which is awesome. Fire Emblem Fortress Weed is not out yet, but I am very much gonna pick it up. Until Switch Sports Resort, also not out yet. Might pick it up. I'm putting it like right here. Ocarina of Time, not out yet. Super excited for Ocarina of Time. Actually, I'm gonna put this right here. I'm absolutely gonna pick up Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, super curious to see what it's gonna be like, especially because one, we don't know if it's gonna be a faithful remake or a full-on from ground up new interpretation remake. I'm leaning towards it's gonna be a modernization faithful remake, kind of like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, but good. Where it's probably gonna still, you know, play and look like Ocarina of Time, but like look a lot better, and the controls gonna be a lot better. That's like my expectations for it. Probably gonna come out in November, I'm gonna be real. Dust Bloods, no release date, not out yet, but the beta's gonna happen very, very, very soon. I can't comment on that, but I might pick it up depending on my vibes on the beta. Xenoblade Chronicles X Switch 2 Edition. It is certified to be honest. It doesn't really add anything in terms of content. It's 4K, 60, and 4K is a super asterisk because whoever worked on this upgrade pack really fumbled the bag in terms of the resolution scaling, or the upscaler they use is super poor, resulting in really, really bad image quality on handheld. The weird artifact thing is still an issue on TV mode, but it's to a lesser degree. So it's a very, very, very hit or miss upgrade pack, especially if you're on handheld. If you're a handheld only player, I'll probably actually steer away from this and encourage you to use handheld boost mode so you can get like 1080p on handheld. But those are my thoughts. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Switch 2 Edition. I'm gonna put this in kinda clean, not gonna lie. It adds a new racing mode to the game and a new cart that you can use to traverse the very big areas, which is actually pretty well appreciated because a lot of the issues I have in Xenoblade 1, despite the biomes and the level design and like the creativity, really out there, really good. A lot of those later areas, I'm looking at Valak Mountain, I'm looking at the Makanas core areas, are kind of barren. So being able to just quickly just travel on a cart, really well appreciated. They actually added voice heart to hearts, which is awesome. So Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I'm definitely gonna have to replay it when I do have the time. There is an issue when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Switch 2 Edition, however, where when it comes to the frame buffer, as soon as things get too intense and the frame will dip a bit, it will actually crash all the way down to 30 FPS and then bounce back to 60 FPS. That's just how the game is coded, however. Like, it's not really something they can really fix, but it's not really that abundant. It's only in like the really big areas like Guar Plains or really high intention scenes, but like not that big of a deal to be perfectly honest, because that only happened during the quick play. What's it called? The quick time events thing. It slows down, meaning it's easier for you to press B. So like, it's not that big of an issue, but it is something to address, right? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 Edition. Oh yeah, our first Switch 2 Edition in peak. Actually, that's not true. Our third Switch 2 Edition in peak. I adore Xenoblade Chronicles 2 base game so much. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The Switch 2 Edition fixes the game. Absolutely fixes the game. There's your standard 4K 60. First of all, seeing this game running above 480p is a blessing. I have never seen Rex and the gang this crisp before, this smooth before. It is awesome. Also, all the cutscenes being re-rendered to 60 FPS as well is such a treat as well. It's also the fact that like you can also do Merc Assault, which I haven't tried yet because I'm doing a brand new save for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. and you'll unlock Merc Assault at Chapter 4. I'm on Chapter 3 currently. The new Fancy Pyramid is awesome. I haven't unlocked that yet. You unlock that at Merc Assault. But also, this Switch 2 edition fixes one of the biggest issues this game had, which is the field skills, where it's a level design feature where you'll need to have blades with a certain ability in order to progress through the game, like Pyro with the flame ability. You can use fire to burn down obstacles, like knock down trees and such and forth. The problem with field skills is that how it originally was, is that you will need to have those blades equipped in order to field skill to prompt, which doesn't sound that crazy on the surface, but there are so many various different types of field skills in this game where it became really annoying equipping, unequipping different blades to do these field skills, especially if you had a lot of blades mismatched or equipped to particular team members. Like if you skewed heavily towards Rex as your blade user and didn't give blades to Nia or not Tora, Zeke, Morag, there was a good chance you would probably soft lock yourself later in the game, which sucked. What the Switch 2 edition fix is that you no longer actually need to have the blades equipped to your party. It will just take in all of the blades you have in your party, like in the actual like list of blades, which is awesome. It actually fixes the game, which is awesome. I think there's also a couple of Quiet Life features they added. But yeah, Switch 2 edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 fixes the game. The tutorials are still butt cheeks, but the game is immaculate now. It actually raises the score of the game quite a lot. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Switch 2 edition, not out yet. We'll be playing. I can't wait for Future Redeem 4K 60. It's gonna be awesome. And in terms of the new party member though, oh yeah, I didn't even mention, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 also adds a new party member, which is awesome. They're gonna add a new party member for 3, so don't know who's gonna be, right? But we shall see. I'm sure this is probably also gonna be in peak. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be so real. This is probably also gonna be in peak. Xenoblade Genesis, not out yet. Can't wait to play it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so peak. Winds and Waves, not out yet. Gonna be playing it. It's gonna be so peak. All right, the Switch 2, I'll say in terms of its most recent library or selection of games, have been actually spectacular. They've been really hitting the past few months, which is awesome. Super excited for the next few months for Nintendo Switch 2. I'm certain that Ocarina of Time is gonna be awesome. I'm certain the last Switch 2 editions for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Switch 2 edition is gonna be peak. Genesis Winds and Waves is gonna be awesome. Byron's Fortune's Wii is gonna look sick as all heck. Honestly, like preemptively, it's probably gonna be top of clean or low of peak. Like I'm actually really excited for Byron's Fortune's Weave. So that's gonna be it for today, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Comment down below what is your favorite games on the Nintendo Switch 2 currently. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Comment down below what are your favorite Switch 2 games currently and what you're playing on your Nintendo Switch 2. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye now.